How's it going, guys? If you haven't already seen the previous parts to this particular tutorial series, I really recommend you go check them out. I teach a lot of cool tips and tricks for building these types of houses, and honestly, it's a really difficult house, so you might not be able to get along without those previous parts. So I really recommend you go check them out before you watch this. There's a annotation on the screen, hopefully right now, and there should be one at the end for the next part as well. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you do. Let's go right ahead and get on with the tutorial. Alright, picking right back up where we were, we're just going to tackle the roof here and add the extra sides and probably the windows as well, and then we will probably finish it off with the decorations and path blocks. So what we're going to do is basically follow what we did down here with these little feet. But we're going to do it in a certain pattern that kind of matches this, but not so much. So I'm going to go ahead and get the most important blocks together, so that way we don't have too much to, go around with in the inventory. So we're going to start with this side. I'm going to start by on every bottom, or well, top of the logs, we're going to add a bottom facing stair, just like that. Then we're going to follow that up with two on the top right there. We're not going to do one there. We're going to put fences there, which I'm actually going to go ahead and grab. It'd be better to get them now than later. So I just put them about right there as well as in the middle. And you're going to want to do that on both sides. So I will do that here. It's just one on the bottom, one on the top, and then a spruce fence in between. You'll recognize this if you watch my videos on my channel. I do this a lot on all my builds, and I think it looks really good. I think it just kind of complements the walls nicely. It doesn't hide any features. But yeah, so the next thing you're going to do is put an upside down one on both sides, followed by a top half slab with one on the top, on the bottom slot of the block above. So just like that. It kind of adds a nice little wave to it, and in the end I think it just makes the build look much better. So you're going to do that on both sides. Now the thing about this build is it's not required to be the same every time you build it. There are a lot of little features and details in there that you could get away with kind of, going in and adding extra little details. Like obviously right here, there's just so much going on that you wouldn't be able to see if I did that little wavy pattern through here. Now what I normally do with this is put the upside down ones there just like that, and then put half slabs right on top. So it just kind of connects, like it looks like it's holding it in, and in the end it just looks pretty good. And you could also do one there if you wanted. I'll do one upside down just to kind of match the sides there, just like that. And then one upside down there. So in the end, it kind of looks like it's holding it. You see what I mean? Like it's got the beam on the top, obviously not on the very top, but it kind of just goes around in a circle, completely holding it with the top one here, bottom one there, on the bottom, sides, and top again. It just, in the end, like, oh God, I keep saying in the end. I'm not Linkin Park. But yeah, it just kind of makes it look, once the product is completed, it makes it look secure, and like it's not just going to fall over on top of the visitor who would be walking in to the door through like that direction under it. The next thing we're going to do is poke out the holes for the windows. So we're going to do one there, and I really encourage you guys to go all out on this build. Make it your own. You do not have to put windows where I say to put them. Just wherever you feel best, do that. So we're not going to put any on the back side because that's where the furnace will go. I don't do them on the bottom, and here's why. If you want to do a ladder going up to the next floor, which you would do something like here and then put the ladder on the side, and it would go up to here, then you're free to put windows down here. But otherwise, if you do a stairwell, which would just basically be all of these blocks going all the way up to the top, you're not going to have windows properly. Like they'll be covered and it'll just look terrible. And with what we're going to do at the end, it'll make much more sense as to like how we're going to get away with not having a window there. You could also make that bottom area cobblestone if you really wanted to. I mean, it would still fit, and I think it would look pretty nice. So just as an example, I'll kind of show that. It actually might look better. I haven't actually tried that, so I could be... yeah, I mean, that looks good. It's really either way. I actually might do that now that I think about it. We'll give it a shot. Why not? So this bottom area is kind of like the basement. Little stairwell. And see, this is one of the things that I'm actually really happy I've discovered here. I really recommend whenever you watch any of my tutorials that you take it with, inspiration in mind. Don't just copy the build, but use it. Expand upon it. And if you build it, I'd be happy to see photos on Twitter, so feel free to send them to me. But I think that cobblestone looks a lot better. Maybe on the front here I'll change it just because this is the front viewing area. It might look a little weird though, so Just keep that in mind, but I think we'll keep it as that for now. It's up to you guys really though. I mean, you can do the cobblestone on the bottom or not. The choice is yours. Actually, you know what? I am gonna get rid of it and I'll show you why. Alright, I'm gonna look like an idiot here, but the reason why, and I just noticed it, is because this back area, this is meant to be the furnace. So if it's all cobblestone, it's just gonna blend too much and not look good. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. You can. I'm happy I showed you because at least you can see kind of what it looks like, but I'm gonna keep it as washed out brick. I think in the end it'll look much better, especially once we have the furnace, and it won't blend as much. So maybe go against doing that. Again, the choice is yours. So now that we've got all the windows in place, we're gonna finish it off by adding the windows themselves. And this is actually a really cool design. I've been using it a lot lately and it looks good overall. So again, you can do whatever you want for this, but I feel like it looks the best with this design. So what we'll do is put a glass in the middle, just a glass pane. And then if you're in 1.9, you should be able to place a trapdoor right on the top of the glass like that. I don't know if you could do that before. But if you're not in 1.9, you can just put it right there on the top. Followed by 2 ladders on the side. I like to put it right there, just one lower, because you can close it. So it's kind of like a blind. It kind of looks good. And then we're going to add the ladders on the sides of the other ones, followed by the glass and the trapdoor. You can really do it in any order that you want. And I think this looks really good. It just adds to the whole like color palette, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. I think we're almost done. I think we only have one more and this is it. So we've got the windows there, there, and there. Now the reason I feel like this looks good with the color palette is because this like thatch texture thatch texture goes really good with this ladder. Like the colors really collide and it just brings it out. It kind of looks like straps in a way. I don't know. You can go without it if you want. I mean, it looks fine without it. Kind of bland, kind of clean. I don't know. It's up to you. I usually put them there, especially once the finishing touches to the roof are done. It'll make much more sense. So what I'm going to do now, I've got 2 more things for this particular episode. We are going to add in the finishing touches to the roof as well as the furnace. Now this design is very weird, but I feel like it fits this whole thing best. So what you're going to do is get a cobblestone block, stairs, and walls, and web. Or you can use glass if you want for the smoke. I'm just actually going to use web, which is called smoke in my resource pack. And it just kind of looks like it. So we're going to place it right here on this back wall, which is completely parallel to this area here on the front, the little extra window. And we're just going to basically climb up all the way with a thing of 3 blocks across, just to about there. And it's going to be really weird. And the way I normally do my furnaces is I just make the blocks change at different heights. Like we'll do one there, and then we'll have one up at the front, like that, and then maybe one down there. Maybe we'll take this one away. So just kind of make it look, like it's just cobblestone all piled onto each other. I think it looks good. Like once it's done, you'll see what I mean. But basically just do it at random heights. You don't have to copy it. And then we're going to make it look like it's going around so that it doesn't poke through the ceiling. And this is actually a really cool design. So you're going to just place a stair that way, one there, followed by 1 block on top, and then one going that way, upside down, kind of accepting it, and then doing that. You could also go up one more with the cobblestone if you wanted, but I'm not worried about it. Then we're going to add the smoke, and I would really be careful with this texture, or not texture, but this whole idea. If you're building in a world that already has buildings, try and make sure that you copy the same smoke pattern as the other houses, because you want to make sure you establish a wind like current and don't have it all just going all over the place. Like if you're building a town, the smoke all needs to be going in the same direction. So I always make sure to do that first, but obviously there's nothing else here, so we are good to establish the wind current and direction. I don't know if it's realistic, like if it would be going in a certain direction, but this is fine. And now that that's there, we can go ahead and add the wavy patterns on the side. Now it's pretty much the same process as I said earlier, like I believe yesterday, yesterday in the last episode here. It's kind of random because this is the only place where a furnace is, so you can really get away with doing whatever you want. Like as you can see, that caused a lighting error, so I'm gonna get rid of that for now, and maybe just keep it at that. Simple enough. It's kind of different from everything else. I mean, I guess we could add it. Maybe we could lower the this area, now that I think about it, to about there, followed by that. And then, see, this is where you really have to play with it, because I don't want that to be covered up too much. I don't know. You can play with it. I think that looks fine for now. Maybe we'll bring this one down actually just a tad bit. I really recommend you play with it whenever you're, building it. That looks a lot better. And the next thing I usually do is kind of tear it up. It fits the whole theme once it's done. Just place random, stair blocks upside down and forward, just like that, all throughout the build. And this just gives it character, kind of. I mean, you don't have to do it. If you want to go with a really plain house, that's totally fine. It looks good, just, the same way, basically. I mean, you don't have to really go all nuts. You can basically keep it plain and simple. A lot of people prefer it that way. But lately, I've been just experimenting with, like, really messing it up and making it look like an old shack, kind of, So we're going to basically do, I guess we'll just do that. That'll be just fine. And if you want, you could put windows here, or even, and this is kind of an on-the-spot thought, you could put ladders across. But I don't really see it necessary, so I'm just going to leave it blank, just like that. I'm actually going to fix this, because this is annoying. So just like that, that is the finished furnace side. And I believe that's pretty much all for that side and this whole thing in general. The next thing we're going to do to finish off this particular part is we are going to establish the messed up roof. So this is kind of the finishing touch to the build, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you don't like it, you can stop here. Obviously, it's pretty much complete, but this really helps the design. So what I'm going to do is break these two blocks at the end, or that block at the end, and lower it with half slabs so it looks like a full block, just like that. And I'm doing that on all of them. It's something that it's supposed to look random, and it will look random at the end, but I really like the way that looks, just kind of lowered. It flattens it out a tad bit and kind of gives it more interest. The next thing I'm going to do is on the edges, I'm going to add random stairs going on different blocks. Like as you can see, there's one here, but one lower over here. Just play around with it. This is totally random, so you do not have to copy my design at all. You can go all out. Every block on this roof that I touch, do whatever you want to it. Just seriously characterize it as messing up the roof, like bringing the roof down, basically. Make it look like it's about to fall apart. This is the part that is totally random. I could never do a tutorial on this because I can only describe this process as just legitimately tearing up the roof. So I usually start with the stairs, and then we'll do it on the other side. Now, never do this. I feel like this ruins the flow and does not, like, that makes it look terrible in my opinion. So never do that. You can put stairs on the top, but make sure you give them one facing direction. I'll do one on this side, and it seriously is the most random process ever. Like, I don't have any tips for this other than just try and be random. Do it slowly. That way it doesn't lose, like, its flow. And yeah, next thing you're going to do is put half slabs just kind of randomly. I don't really put any on the top, but just basically like that. And then do them on the front side as well. Now, or the back side, I guess, because the furnace is over here. I wouldn't do them in front of stairs like this, but you can. It's up to you. And I think we're about done with that. Maybe we'll do it one there. Yeah, that'll look good. Now, this area is going to be a little bit harder because it's much more compact, but you can still find places to do it. Maybe put stairs and half slabs on some of them, and then the other one maybe only do stairs. It's up to you. Kind of want to do that and then put a half slab there maybe, or maybe we'll just do one there. That's good. So it's not too messed up. But I just feel like that adds so much to the build. Like, that really gives it character. It doesn't look like it's just destroyed. It looks like it's still supported and going strong and would last a long time. But it just gives it enough to where it looks worn. And, it's something to look at. It's not just a really plain, plain line building. It just has that character. And, again, you might not like it, but I figured I'd add it because that's what I did in the start. And to finish off this particular part, we are going to add trapdoors on the side. You don't have to do this. I do this on a lot of builds, though. It kind of makes them not pop as much. And I feel like it's really not important. It looks good either way. But in the end, I usually do this anyways. And I'll show you what it looks like without it. Hopefully we are good on the sides. Yes, we are good. So that is pretty much the completed build itself. Oh, actually, one more thing that you could do. You could kind of mess these out to where they raise and lower. But again, that kind of messes up with, like, the flow. I mean, you could do it. It kind of looks nice, actually, because it does tear it up just a bit on the outside areas. But You don't have to. You can also do one lower like that, but it'll cause lighting errors. I might do that on this side actually, because it would, you know, keep it from looking like all the same. Plus this is really low to the ground, so I don't know. Again, you can play with it, and then on this one maybe we'll do that. Yeah, and then of course you'd have to do that on the other side as well, since you already did it once. So I could just pretty much end with that alone, or even, you know, turn that in that way. That works as well. If I did that though, I'd bring that down, so it kind of looks like that. So just play around with it. That's pretty much all you can do, and eventually you'll find the perfect looking roof. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this part. Please make sure to check out the final part. We'll be doing some final touches on the edges here on the outside, and this is kind of the exterior portion and just kind of decorating it, but that is pretty much the house itself. So if you decide not to watch the next part, I totally understand. Thank you for watching, though. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a thumbs up. Maybe consider checking out my other tutorials. Anyways, guys, my name has been System Z, and I'll see you in the next one.